Big Short. Let me go and find it, actually. One sec. Alright, I found it. Found it. I don't know if you can hear this, but I'm sure you can.
During the 1930s.
During the 1930s.
The housing market collapsed nationwide by roughly 80%.
Talking about a
Half
collapse.
of all mortgage debt was in default. And I mean, there were very specific identifiers, extremely recognizable. I mean, for instance, one of the hallmarks of mania is the rapid rise in complexity and the rates of fraud. And did you know?
Rapid rise in rates and complexity of fraud. That was the part. Rapid rise in the rates and complexity of fraud. And also I add into that insider trading. This is stuff that comes out in later stage cycles. There's no doubt there's been insane levels of fraud in terms of relative to where it was last year. You know that all the scamming, phishing, all that kind of shit has exploded again. All the scammy links and the replies and the wallet drainers are up again. So it's not about, don't take what he says in that as if, oh, this is like going to be the collapse of the entire thing. It's the same principle applies. When do rates of fraud and scamming and insider trading increase? They increase directly in proportion to the number of uneducated retail participants in the market. Because the people who fall for scam and fraud and who buy the bags of insiders are the uneducated, dumb money retail. And when they're in, there's nobody left to come in, and then we top. That's how it works. Right? If it was just me trading against you, trading against the next smart person who understands the market, we would never get defrauded. We're never going to click on an Elon Musk giveaway link, right? So when that stuff increases, you can tell who's in the market. That stuff's been getting, objectively, you can clearly see a massive increase. I remember last year, even this time last year, you'd look at posts on Twitter and there was no replies under them of scammy stuff. Now it's all airdrop this, airdrop that, next airdrop's coming. We've had like 15, 20, 30 different projects launched in the last 2 months. And then there's a bunch of scam ones as well. They're like trying to drain people's wallets of airdrops. So that's came back. That's one sign. But by itself, that's not much. The insider trading part, the Eigenlayer airdrops, the Jupiter airdrop shit show from a few weeks ago. And don't forget, these are all a process. Jupiter launched a couple of months ago, but it was a sign that is completely scammy launch that heavily favored insiders. Eigenlayer is just like Starknet. Remember Starknet? Fucking ridiculous, brutal. So why does this matter? What does it even mean? Because it shows insiders do not believe that we're in an early stage. They do not believe there's much left to go. They're getting sloppy with their fraud, with their insider trading. I shouldn't even say fraud, because in crypto, insider trading is basically legal, right? Because there's no regulations. The point is, what do people do whenever they think the market's going to continue? Do you think that insiders weren't dumping on you in 2020? Of course they were. Do you think they weren't dumping on you in 2021? Of course they were. But because we had an actual big, Fed-driven, with all the QE, liquidity-driven bull market, that kind of stuff slipped under the radar for months and months and months and months because the market was going up. So they didn't have to be really aggressive with their insider selling. They could slowly dump or hedge out or whatever. But now it's just like people don't think that we're going to get months and months and months to dump. So as soon as they get any hint that they've made some money, they just fucking instantly dump it on top of people. The other big one is this pre-sale meta that's been happening. So all over Twitter, you've seen like people just post a contract address, just post a wallet address and just say, send me money and you can get tokens for this new project. And every single one of them, I think Slurf was the first one and it went up a bit. Every single pre-sale since then has gone straight down only. And this is hundreds of millions of dollars in total across all of these different pre-sales that people have sent money to. That's purely predatory. I think I don't think people even understand. That's hundreds of millions of dollars that people have sent to these pre-sales that is gone. That's gone already. That's out. That's probably in. It's probably not even in crypto anymore. It's probably in fiat, because it's grifters, influencers, whatever, who start this bullshit project. It's not even a project. It's just a rug pull. It's a pump and dump. It's a scam. Many of them aren't even pump and dumps. They just dump. They take the money. It's just a rug pull. It's a pump and dump. It's a scam. Many of them aren't even pump and dumps. They just dump. They take the money and then they launch some half-ass project and keep the rest. It's the same as NFTs. When we saw NFT fraud go through the roof last cycle and NFT grifting go through the roof last cycle, it was the top. Right? Remember that few week period where everybody was launching a mint, an NFT mint? Mint my collection. And you mint the collection and then there's just nothing. Discord abandoned, project abandoned. But it's indicative of where we are at in the psychological cycle. Because people are taking stupid levels of risk with their money, so they feel rich because their bags are up a little bit, and they're not doing due diligence. And insiders and insiders and whales and all the basic insiders, right, are not even being careful about how they do it. They're just being blatant. This is so blatant. Just taking in $100 million or $20 million or $15 million or $5 million, whatever, and just doing nothing. Like, that's just outright fraud. So, why couldn't this just actually be the end for now? And we go down, and we go down more, and we drift down, and then we start to climb back up, and it goes higher. Right? And that's like the rest of this year. And we start to maybe get bullish again in 2025. Why not? Again, will it happen? I don't know. I'm preparing for all eventualities. I'm certainly not sitting here looking at this and saying, well, if this doesn't continue playing out, I'm just going to... No. But when these parabolic trends break, which this is broken, obviously, it's going to have to go into a reaccumulation. And reaccumulation and consolidation tends to happen on the way down because it has to keep making new lows or sideways corrections so that people give up and then smart money accumulates again, right? Bleeds out. We bled out from May until September. 4 months of just bleeding. This is March. 4 months would be April, May, June, July. That'll be July. It's just there's more bleeding to come. Surely. But of course, nothing's ever guaranteed. So like I said earlier, I'm watching for signs of a genuine bottom all the time. But I just don't see it yet. And I'll keep letting you know when I think I see it. That's it. GM.